Today will eliminate federal overreach, restore economic freedom, and allow our companies and our workers to thrive, compete, and succeed on a level playing field.
President Donald Trump declaring a new era in energy production. His executive order unraveling former President Obama's rules, some of them on clean air, many of them, in fact. Dr. Robert Gregory, chair of the Department of Earth Sciences at SMU. So the president says there needs to be a balance between the economy and job development and environmental regulation. I don't think too many people would disagree with that. The question is, do these changes strike the right balance? That's a tough one.
Well, I think the problem is the Obama regulations on clean power were really responding to a market situation that was already there. Coal is 70% efficient as far as generating per kilowatt hour compared to natural gas, and it's more than twice as polluting with respect to CO2. And then the downside of coal is it's not just carbon, it's a bunch of other stuff, and the other stuff includes mercury, sulfur, toxic metals. And so there's a environmental penalty you pay for using coal. When you burn methane, it's methane plus air. Oxygen gives you water and CO2.
Right.
And that's much simpler.
So that is and much cleaner, and in the current market situation, much cheaper, much more efficient for companies. There have been a lot of power plants that were coal-fired power plants that are now either closed or natural gas-fired power plants.
Yes, it's much easier if you have a choice between fuels to burn natural gas. That just makes life much more simple. There's no such thing as clean coal. To do clean coal or carbon sequestration, you'd probably be paying 3 times what you pay now per kilowatt hour.
When the president stood there surrounded by a lot of people, some of whom were coal miners, and he said, fellas, I paraphrase, do you know what this says? It says, you're going back to work. Do you see the return of the glory days of the coal industry in the United States?
I think if you actually read the executive order, it doesn't really say that.
No, it doesn't say that.
It doesn't say that at all.
But he said the net effect would be that.
Well, what it says is to remove unnecessary regulation. Now, if a banker would rather invest in a natural gas plant than a coal plant, it's not going to change his mind. The economics would favor the natural gas plant. And that's the market.
And as far as you are concerned, will continue to favor the natural gas market for the foreseeable future.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't see the return of jobs. President Obama's regulations were, some people say, politically motivated. Were they scientifically motivated? Are they on solid scientific ground?
Well, the energetics of the coal burning process, it's less efficient and it's more polluting. So that's a good economic reason not to do it.
Right. Okay.
It's not that difficult.
Okay, and you've got a couple of resources here. This is kind of, tell me what we're seeing here. This is a NASA video.
Okay, this is a NASA video that's a simulation of data that's coming off of a satellite called OCO2, and there's now a successor to that satellite called OCO3, which the Trump administration is axing out of the NASA budget. And so what it's showing is the Earth respiring. And it's mainly in the northern hemisphere because that's where all the land plants are.
Right.
But you can see the point sources of pollution from burning fossil fuel, which mix into the atmosphere.
And so it looks like it's coming from heavily industrialized nations.
It comes from, comes from the United States, Europe, China, India. And so you can see the pollution from China moves all the way across the ocean. So if you have air quality problems in Los Angeles, some of them might actually be due to burning coal in China.
Yep. Okay. Very good. All right, we're going to put up a couple of resources. We're out of time, but I want to make sure we put these. We'll put a link to these on fox4news.com.
That's
a couple
great.
of books that you are suggesting would be good if people want to learn to think for
themselves. These are textbooks that if you want to know about global change and you want to know about resources and energy, these are excellent places to get the information.
Doctor, thanks very much.